make sure I answer any questions or call anything that it may be there. So before we dive into the full gambit of social media and how to make this digital marketing tools work well for us, I want to just kind of take a moment to be interactive and answer a few questions. So I would love for a few of you guys to answer this, maybe verbally if you want to unmute your mics. But I want to know for the question number one, what are some of your favorite social media platforms and why do you use them? Now, I don't want to go old school teacher style where I just pick someone, but if I have to, I definitely will. But if somebody wants to volunteer to answer this question, what are some of your favorite social media platforms and why do you use them? And whoever wants to unmute themselves, you're more than welcome to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to pick someone just to get started. I'll let, okay, so we have a comment person in the chat. Facebook to reach a broad audience in their service area. Okay, great. I'll let Janice, if you don't mind being the first lead to answer this question, and then we'll have maybe one or two representatives answer after.
Yeah, right now, I would say YouTube. Does that count as social media?
It actually does.
Okay, great. I don't have a TikTok, so I use YouTube Shorts to see the same type of videos.
That's a good point. Yes. So actually, just to give you a little insight, so social media platforms are anything that's considered a space for engagement. So of course, you have your known topics or your known platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, but also YouTube is considered a social media platform. Now, the beautiful part about YouTube is that it's a place where we can always go to learn. And of course, YouTube is adapted to where some of the other social media platforms have added options for, as she mentioned, short-term video content. That way you can learn different things, see different things, and experience certain things as well. Miss Diamond Ross in the comments said Instagram and TikTok, they're engaging and super simple. Anna Torres says, my favorite platform right now is Instagram. I use it for the different forms of content that you can create there. Let me get one more person to engage with us via video and share with us what their favorite social media platform is currently. Okay, I'm gonna shoot here.
I'll say something. So basically, I've heard that I use Facebook most of the time, and I've used it for different reasons, mostly personal, but now organizational. I noticed that now you're able to make one post and share it all over the different social media. So that's what I like doing. And obviously for engagement, for me, it's Facebook, and Instagram is great for imaging and drawing people's attention.
I love that. And she shares something that is so pivotal for us to make sure that we keep in mind, the ability to share cross platforms. This is a newer feature that social media has rolled out. So now you're in a space where you can post on Instagram and it can go to TikTok, it can go to Instagram, it can go to wherever you need it to be. That makes sharing your digital content for your organization, making sure your organization's message is out there a little bit easier. Miss Peterson says LinkedIn to reach business community professionals and sponsors. That's a great topic. No one really thinks about LinkedIn as a social media platform because it's centered around professional engagement. However, LinkedIn has evolved. If you guys have been on it from a computer, it's starting to look very Facebook-ish. You can go live, you can post blog posts, you can show photo recaps. You have a lot more features in LinkedIn that now have pretty much merged the professional community and the personal community that Facebook has all into one platform that is still geared towards professionals. Let's do another question. How often are you informed or inspired by social media or while on social media? If anyone wants to answer this in the comments and via video, how often are you informed or inspired while on social media? So I'll tell you this, I'll lead with the first answer. I am typically inspired every day in the first couple hours. I know typically people wake up in the morning and see a lot of motivation, a lot of encouragement, sometimes a lot of tips for winning your day or mastering your mornings. That's typically when I'm most inspired, or how often I'm inspired, which is pretty much the answer would be daily via social media because of those moments. Whoever else wants to go ahead and unmute themselves and answer that question for us. We got quite a few people in the chat saying all day, every day. That means you follow some quality people who produce quality content. Good. Thumbs up for you. Anyone else? How about Miss Karen Faust?
Well, I'm going to throw a spanner in your works here, I'm afraid. So I don't participate personally on any social media
Okay.
for personal reasons.
Mhm.
But I only participate for work.
Okay.
And so I do use LinkedIn
Okay.
professionally. And then I find myself, I'm really a grant writer, but I find myself advising my clients about social media, despite the fact that I don't really use it a lot from a content perspective. So I'm a little bit of an odd duck.
No, I would consider you like a strategist if you're able to give information on what to do, what not to do, how to leverage your audience, leverage your content to connect with individuals further to whatever their mission is. That's a great resource, a great tool to have in your arsenal. So thank you for sharing that. Let's move on to our third question. In your opinion, and you know what, Ms. Karen, you may be one of the ones that can answer this one. What are some of the pros and cons of social media? And do you think it has more of a positive or negative effect on society as a whole?
Well, like all tools, it depends how you use it.
There,
And I
yeah.
think the caution is to, from a personal, using it personally, is to, like you said, make sure you're following and participating with quality
Absolutely.
content and not with garbage. I think it's easy to get into a downward spiral in social media. And so you just need to be cautious. Professionally, I think that social media is really a playing stake. You have to be participating in that space in order to reach the audiences you need in for-profit and nonprofit arenas. And then those who do it well are, gonna win in that space over those who aren't doing it well. So it's just something we all have to know how to do, whether we love it or not.
Well said. Let's switch places. It's one of those things that we just have to learn how to do and do well, whether we choose to use it personally or professionally or not use it at all. Great insight, great feedback. I'm going to choose one more person. Kiera Jones, what do you think of the pros and cons of social media? And do you think it has a more of a positive or negative impact on society?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Excuse me. I can see the pros and cons from social media. I think obviously, as we've discussed already about the pros, about how it can inspire and engage us and we can learn from it. But I definitely would say if you're not careful with the people that you're following, that you can often be led astray. One of the things we talk about, actually, I was just looking at the other day, was about cybersecurity.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people taking advantage of other people on social media now, whether it be by trying to, send direct messages, pretending to be a friend or family member that's, hacked another account. So I would say that's probably one of the leading cons as of right now, is that, that cybersecurity area has really kind of increased. And I think a lot of people have to be more vigilant when using social media in their personal and professional use as well.
Absolutely. Great add-on about the cybersecurity and some of the things that people are experiencing while on social media, which is possibly affecting their involvement, whether professionally or personally. So thank you for sharing that. And our last question, and this is for whoever wants to take a stab at it. We're going to get two answers. How do you determine which social media platform to focus on for your business or organization? So how will you determine, or how do you think is the best way to determine which platform you're utilizing based upon who you're trying to impact with your information from your organization? Does anybody want to go ahead and answer that? How about we choose Miss Lolita Coleman?
Why did I know you were going to pick me? Why? Okay. We use basically every social media outlet because we are a breast cancer awareness organization.
Okay.
And for those purposes, we want to get the word out to every community, every branch of the world that we possibly can. So using Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we're on it to try to get the word out, to educate women throughout the communities about breast cancer awareness and the things that we use and can do to help them if they need assistance. So we use everything, and that's why.
I love that. I love that. There's something that I tell most of my clients that I really believe wholeheartedly. It's easier to be everywhere than it is to be in one particular place. And I say that from the standpoint of this, most people, they're not just on one social media outlet. They're on different for different reasons. And so when it comes to impactful content or impact focused content, as I like to call it, like breast cancer awareness and mammograms and different things like that, it would be best to be everywhere because, of course, certain things only affect certain types of people or certain age groups. But then when it comes to health, that's not always the case. So being everywhere and having the willingness or sometimes the space to create content or to empower or to present your information in different lights to impact the individual that you want to see, it's often easiest to be everywhere they are, especially when it comes to making impact. Let's choose one more person. How about Laura Leon? I hope I said Leon, your last name correctly. Which do you think would be the platform of choice that you would focus on for your organization, if you have a preferred or preference?
Well, we're a hospital, so we use LinkedIn and I think Facebook. But we do work with pregnant women, and I would like to use TikTok, and I would like to learn about what other ones, like for young women, that I should be reaching out to.
Absolutely. I love that. TikTok is a growing platform, of course. It is specifically centered around video-based content, and the average TikTok user is 23 years old. So if your demographic or your organization is looking to maybe impact with information, anyone under the age of 30, it may be a very, very, very wise decision to join the TikTok movement, not necessarily to get on there and to dance and to point and have a good time, but it's really more so about being where people are who could potentially be impacted positively by your content, or who just needs to know that your organization exists. As I proceed with the presentation, one of the things that I push about marketing and I share about marketing, especially on the organization and visibility and business side of things, is that it really is all about visibility. People can't enroll, they can't sign up, they can't they can't purchase something that they often don't know exists. And so marketing, especially on the social media side, is really all about increasing visibility. If we're honest, newspapers are going to be obsolete probably for sure in the next 5 to 10 years because the world has completely gone digital, and the world is actually very comfortable being digital. And that's because we have things like our iPads, our Kindles, our phones, our Android tablets. We are able to get what we need from our fingertips as we go about our day. So just keep that in mind, as the world has gone digital, especially in this marketing and media space, it's not going to revert back to where it's been. So it's best for us to find the best ways and practice for our organizations and entities to be where they are, to get the individuals that we desire to talk to or to speak to the information that they need